Yeah, I built you up there. I'd have a better fade than that, but here we are. This is Scary Alvarez podcast. I'm, of course, Scary Alvarez, Wine Island enjoyer, Sherry Wine destroyer, Jake's grandpa, and Cindy's plus one when she'll have me. And I'm here for part two of possibly more than two, maybe three, but at least two on Wisconsin's transfer portal stuff. I got some news and I got some prospects. We're going to do a little bit of speculation on this one where we have not in previous ones, with the caveat that it may not happen. But I am Scary Alvarez, so there's a pretty good chance. Want to remind you before we get started today, please like and subscribe. The more I have my unpaid intern Joe Ferguson look at the algorithms of the YouTubes, the more I realize just how vital it is to click those buttons. And if you have a couple comments, throw them in there too, because they have a little dumb computer, like a monkey riding a unicycle inside a machine that decides what videos to show people and what videos to mute. And the more you like, the more you subscribe, the better I do, the better you do. So it's a wonderful synergy. So let's continue that fun. Anyway, we're doing well so far. Okay. Got Andrew Rohde. We've already talked about him. Real nice player out of Virginia. Can play three positions, do some ball handling. Very, very solid three-point shooter. Should be perfect in the pick and roll. Love it. Another four-star transfer. Austin Rapp, as I said last time, a real choice MC name if he were to go that route. But for now, I want to have him be a basketball player for the Wisconsin Badgers. This was the WCC Freshman of the Year out there in Portland. And that's the conference that we're going to run across your Gonzagas, your St. Mary's, your San Francisco Dons. I'm sure they have other names as well there at San Francisco. But, this isn't easy stuff. It's not the Big Ten. You're not going to have the big beefy guys you tend to face in the Big Ten, but it just so happens that this is a stretch four. Okay, he may still be growing. This is not a banger. He's not a maestro under the basket. He can shoot threes. Shoot threes real nice. And hopefully the other aspects of his game that will make him a good Big Ten player will develop in his time in Madison under the tutelage of Greg Gard and staff. Now we're up to speed on the ones I talked about in the last podcast. The most recent commit is Nick Boyd. Again, I hesitate to use the word crown jewel, but this is a really, really nice player. This is a true point guard. Guy's going to be playing in his fifth season. Final Four experience with Florida Atlantic under Dusty May a few years back. Pit stop there at San Diego State. And I did a little bit of research on this. They really like him there, the fans, and they seemed surprised that he's moving on into the portal, but their surprises are gain. As we have certainly felt surprised at portal entries too from time to time here at Wisconsin. But just a real nice player. 13.4 points a game, 4 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game, a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, about 37% 3-point shooter last season, 75% from the line. Yeah, he's not John Tonji from the line, but he's a reliable. If you got a guy who hits 75% from the line, you're going to take that. Okay. And maybe he even improves at Wisconsin. But that was another 4-star portal entry. So that's 3 4-star portal entries. Wisconsin has, last time I looked, a consensus, or at least a composite top 20 transfer class going. So Rapp, Rohde, and Boyd. Those are 3 starters, guys. You got 3 starters already filled your lineup. That's just it's the way it's going to be. So, well, let me back it up a little bit. It's possible Rapp is a big minute bench guy, depending on what we're doing at the 5. Okay, if we have, our own guys heading up and taking that and leaving the 4 open. Okay, who knows? But Xavier Amos leaving the program into the transfer portal yesterday all but guarantees that Rapp is going to, if not a starter, he's going to be one of the first guys off the bench. I think he's going to start. I think they're paying this guy the kind of money that I don't know the number, but it's highly suggestive of a starter for next season there for Austin Rapp. Get the kid in the weight room. Anyway, so that's where we stand right now. This is a quick hitter, so I want to give you a couple more names to whet your appetite. Here is the disclaimer. I'm not claiming to have any deep and abiding insider information on the next man up in Wisconsin's portal class. But here are two names that Wisconsin has confirmed interest in and that I think would be nice fits for the Badgers. I could give you many more names, but there's no value in just throwing names at the wall. So these are two guys that probably the two at the positions that I'm looking at. One, a 5, the other one, a wing, slashing wing. The top guy that we're looking at in those two categories that I think could actually go to Wisconsin. Kendall Blue. Great name. Great basketball name. No relation to Vander that I can find. Vander Blue, the former Memorial Spartan, Jake Ferguson Memorial High School, who took his talents to Marquette. Plays for St. Thomas. You might recognize the name St. Thomas from Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team opponent. They play them 4 times a year. But that's a D1 program. I wouldn't call it an elite D1. It's a small major. But Blue had a really nice season. He's going to be a rising senior, but his junior year, 12.3 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists on 42% 3-point shooting. Yeah, that 3-point defense is going to improve substantially in the Big Ten. We know that, but that's a nice number. That translates. Kid's got some bounce, and can get to the rim. It's someone who you should keep an eye on. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a meeting of the minds here. I don't know what his cash needs are as far as how much the NIL package would have to be and what Wisconsin has left over. Those are variables that I do not claim to have. But I know this. If I were Greg Gard and his assistants, I would give Kendall Blue a look and give him a good look. Because that's a position that we're a little soft on is someone off the bench at that 2-3 kind of position who can fill it up, do some scoring, shoot the ball well, play a little defense. The defense is TBD. We'll see. Next name, Riley Allensbach out of Samford. Not Stanford, Samford. It's a school down south. Another, it's a small major. He's a sophomore, going to be a junior. He's played a couple seasons, so there's some eligibility left, which is always a good thing. It's not a knock on 1-year guys. Okay, Nick Boyd's a 1-year guy. Andrew Rohde's a 1-year guy. Okay, John Tonje was a 1-year guy. But if you can get the guy and get a couple of years out of him, I think that's better for the stability of the program. So that's why I like this guy. I know there's certified interest in him, but he's a big kid. 6'11", 250. So he's beefier than anyone we currently have in the front court. That's just a fact. So this guy's not going to be the go pop the threes and live on the perimeter kind. This is a grinder. Put him in 10, 15 minutes a game, grab some rebounds. I feel like Ryan Herrings didn't make fun of me or those of like mind who keep mentioning Andrew Vogt as the kind of guy we want to get. It's not that we can't get someone with differing, skill set and things like that to him. It's just that's kind of the type of player, the floor of the player that I think we need at the 5 as a reserve. Allensbach seems to check those boxes. He's a 8-point a game guy, 3-rebound guy. He played about 13 minutes a game last year. A couple of small red flags, and that's all it might be. It's just me. Is that his playing time did not increase dramatically between his freshman and sophomore year for the Samford team, and his rebounding numbers. Look, if the idea is to turn a guy loose and just have him go get boards, he's a work in progress there. Okay, 12 minutes a game, 3 rebounds. I guess that translates to, for starter minutes, 6 rebounds. That's, Steve Crowell kind of numbers. Not that, that's bad. I mean, obviously, Crowell was a really, really solid player for Wisconsin for a long time. Being hyper aggressive on the boards was not a character trait that they're not going to put him on the rebounder mountain, to be honest. But it's more of a rebounding force than the guys you got in that room right now. And with a little bit of work and a little bit of time in the weight room, I feel like his size and his measurables translate to someone who could be a better rebounder. So I would take that with a grain of salt. But just so there's, full disclosure here, and we're going into this with clear eyes. This is not some rebounding force who just doesn't. If anything, he scores better than he rebounds. So it's just a name to keep an eye on. But I do think there's some clay to work with here for the Wisconsin coaches. And so anyway, those are just two guys, Kendall Blue and Riley Allensbach, that I think could be very good fits for the Badgers. It is at this point, I think your big cash has been spent. But at this point, for a value add, for a guy who wants to play Big Ten basketball for a tournament team with upside, these two guys might be perfect fits for the Wisconsin bench to help Wisconsin hopefully take things to the next level next year. I mean, obviously, this is why they say way too early. I mean, like discussing how Wisconsin will do in the tournament, that's another thing. We can discuss how this Badger team might, when it's filled out, compare with last year's, but there's not a lot of value in that right now. But anyway, I like what Greg Gard's doing so far in the transfer portal. Again, consensus composite top 25 class, top 20 class, seeing as high as 13 or 14. And there's still at least 2 spots to fill, as Wisconsin has some scholarships have opened up with guys like Xavier Lucas. God, I got to get past this. Xavier Ramos had no time. What is with Xavier's and transferring from Wisconsin? It's a thing. I'm not sure what that is. But of course, we wish Amos all the best going forward, as we do Daniel Freitag and some of the other folks, Chris Hodges. But anyway, again, I really like the direction that Wisconsin's offseason transfer portal stuff is moving, and let's get some of these guys and keep building. Scary Alvarez is out.